So last year in engineering statistics, we focused on some of the key engineering statistical methods and tools that we can apply to sort of make better decisions and to evaluate our designs. In Band 313, we're actually going to do that application. So we're not going to look at it from a theoretical perspective anymore. We're going to solve industrial engineering problems. To be able to solve real problems, we need to rely on computer software. We can't solve them by hand. So a big component of this course is to use R and RStudio to solve real industrial engineering problems. The good news is that at the moment there's a huge demand in the job market for people with R skills and the ability to actually apply it to our businesses. So that's something that you will pick up in this module. You'll be able to actually use this software within a practical environment or setting. So to help you get started with R, I'm actually going to take you through DataCamp. So DataCamp is an external course provider that has these amazing courses available on mastering software. So it's very interactive, and I think it's probably the best way to actually learn new programming skills and software. So where it's located on the band homepage, it's here under preparation material, under course content. And you'll see here I uploaded a bunch of preparation material for each week's theme. So you'll see here week's 1 stuff is already up and running. And over here there's a section called DataCamp, and it says here that you have to complete the following DataCamp chapters. And that it will actually count marks. So you have to complete those chapters, those sort of tutorials, and then it will count towards your semester mark. So to complete those courses, you'll see underneath here's the actual links to those courses. Important to note is that I'm currently using Chrome. So thus far, it only really works when you're using Chrome or Firefox. It doesn't work with Safari. If you know how it works, contact me. And I don't know if it works with Internet Explorer. So to play it safe, I'll suggest using Chrome or Firefox. So all you have to do is you'll have to click on this link, and then it should take you to the external course. You'll notice there's not a pop-up thing that was here. Sometimes it's necessary to just click that button so that you can get to this one. And here it actually takes you to that specific DataCamp course that you have to complete. So how it works, it's quite nice. On the right-hand side, you have a virtual R environment. So R is the programming language in which we're actually going to complete most of our assignments and the practical coursework. So this thing is live, and you can actually play around with it. So we can say 1 + 1 is equal to 2. And it shows the results. So it is live, so you need an internet connection for this to work. And it can be a bit slow. So how DataCamp works is there you have your sort of course outline. And this tells us what we're busy with at the moment. So we're busy with Introduction to R. I've already completed it. It should show 0% on your side. And here it actually shows us what we're going to look at. So the first one is welcome, then load a data set into this, and and then it sort of carries on until the end. Important to note here is there's like little experience points next to each one. As you successfully completing these little assignments, you actually gain experience points. And these points gets automatically pushed back to Grade Center. And we're actually going to look at how many experience points you will accumulate, and that's how we're going to calculate your semester mark contribution. Okay, so if I just go back here, here at the left-hand side, there's the instructions. The DataCamp tells you what to do. So they usually first introduce stuff to you, new tools, give a brief description of how it works. And then here they have instructions. So they ask you to do something, and then they say submit your answer and see how something works. And we'll actually show you if you did something wrong here. Then we'll give you a hint there. So you can try it over and over and over again until it's correct. You won't lose experience points for that. So my recommendation is if they give you something to do, just try it. Make mistakes, that's not a problem. Just carry on until you get it right. So here they just tell us to click submit answer and see how the console now shows you the executed R code. So over here, this is R code. So we can sort of change this around and see what happens. But you'll get to that when you're going through the course. And then we just click submit answer and we'll see what it pops out for us. Okay, there's our code is working, and boom, there's the results of our code. Okay, and there it tells us we've completed this exercise, we got 100 experience points, and it asks us to carry on with the next exercise. Just ignore that message that says there was an error sending your score. I don't know why it does that. Okay, so that's just the introduction. Just to make a recap, this is sort of a program file. Here you write your stuff, and then you execute whatever you write there, and then it executes here in the bottom plane. You can also type stuff directly in here, and it automatically shows you if you're drawing fancy pictures, which is a nice thing to do in R. Okay, so I'm just going to click on the next exercise. So that should be blank the first time you do it. I think it looks something like this. And here they ask us. So the first thing we're going to look at is loading a data set into R. We like working with data. We have to work with data when we actually want to solve problems. So to sort of solve problems using data, we have to load it into the software that we're going to use. So here they say, give us a nice description. They say, let's start by reading in the data set. They said we'll be working with a present data set, and they said the present data set refers to a number of male and female births in the United States, and it contains data for all the years from 1940 to 2002. And now they're telling us there's a function read table that we can use to actually read data into R. And they say because we're accessing data from the web, so that data that we're going to lose is stored there in that website over there. We can actually load it directly into R. And here they sort of specified in the instructions. They tell us to load in the present data set with the help of the read table function, and they assign the result to the object present. And they said your code should look something like this, that they have read table data set, and they said use the quotes to tell R to provide URL is a string, a sequence of characters and not an object. So over here we want to assign read table to present, so we're going to use read.table, and now we have to point it to the URL. So let's see what happens if you do this. So once you think, okay, I've done what they ask me to do here, then you can say submit answer, and boom, we get these red messages. So this tells us we did something wrong, and they give very useful messages. So they said cannot open the connection, and over here they said the URL to the present text file doesn't seem to be correct. Check again. So I did this on purpose. I only copied the first part. We have to copy the whole one. So again, sometimes if you're struggling, you'll probably get these messages quite often. That's okay. Just try until you get it right. There is an option that you can actually take a hint. So you can ask for a hint from DataCamp, but then you lose experience points. So that will reduce your final mark for completing these courses by a little bit. So the idea is that you try to do it, and you can struggle a bit. It's fine. It's part of the learning curve. We won't penalize you for trying things out and making mistakes. As long as you try it on your own and keep on going on until you get it right, that's perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to say take a hint. And here they say you have to pass the entire URL to the read table function. Not really that helpful. And we can even ask us to show us the answer, but then we lose our experience point. So I wouldn't recommend doing this. Okay, so let's try it. Let's say submit answer. Okay, and there it is. There we've loaded the present or that data set. We've decided to present, and here is our actual data set. Okay, so in there it tells us we only got 70 points because we asked for it. So you can then slowly go through all the different assignments. So over here is another one. You can give you the answer there. But this is, for me, the easiest way to learn a new language. It's very step-by-step. It's very instructional. It's very hands-on. So this is going to be a core component of this module, is to actually use DataCamp to sort of master the different courses. Okay, so if you go back to Grade Center, or to ClickUP, you'll see under Grade Center these different courses are actually listed. So over here we have our different courses ranging from chapter 1 to all the different chapters. I'm not sure why that one we just did isn't showing, because it's upcoming, so I have to click on graded. Okay, and there it actually shows that if you completed that, it will actually show you how many experience points you got for that assignment. Again, I did it previously, and I did the whole thing, so showing I got 1,400 points, which is sort of full marks for completing chapter 1, the chapter 1 course. Okay, so this preparation material is very important. We're going to hit the ground running when we start with this module. So the first lab week, we're actually going to already build on stuff that you should have learned by doing the courses. It should take you, I don't think it should take you more than 2 hours per week to complete the preparation courses. And that is budgeted into your preparation time for the module. So it might seem like a lot, but it's quite quick to run through the courses, especially if you start to become familiar with R. We're quite excited about this. We think this is a great sort of system to piggyback on. I'm not sure why they don't use it for programming in the second year with Python, because they have Python resources as well, but that's the mechanical department's problem. And we hope you enjoy it. So after this course, you will actually have a very valuable skill that you can even use for your prac work, and you can use immediately, and that you can use to market yourself to industry when you're actually looking for work. Okay, so that's it regarding DataCamp. If there's anything unclear, please have a look at the video again. And yeah, just make sure you complete the courses before the prescribed deadlines. Okay, thank you very much.